from Pontin, France. He weighed in at 198 pounds with a record of 30 wins, 2 losses. He has 21 wins coming by way of knockout with 27 consecutive victories. Tonight, he is making the 4th defense of his title. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the WBA Cruiserweight Champion of the World, introducing Jean Marck Mormeck. And his opponent across the ring on my left, riding out of the red corner, wearing yellow trunks with green and red trim, fighting out of Brooklyn, New York, by way of Georgetown, Guyana. He weighed in at a trim and ready 188 pounds. He is undefeated in his campaign to the ring with 21 wins, no losses, 17 wins coming by way of knockout. Tonight, making the 4th defense of his title, he is the undefeated WBC Cruiserweight Champion of the World, introducing Wayne Big Truck Braithwaite. Once again, I'm free in charge, Dick Flaherty, now to give instructions. 12 rounds of championship boxing schedule.
Yep.
You got it.
Okay, Wayne, John. Come on, guys. Okay, gentlemen, we're going 12 rounds tonight for the unification of WBC, WBA titles. We expect a good, clean, professional fight. We gave you the instructions in the dressing room. Will you take the shirts off, please, so I can check the belt lines? Take the shirts off. No. Take the shirts off. Take the robe off. Take the robe off. All right, this is a little high. This is all right. Okay, he's okay. Okay, go to the corners. Okay.
The reason Mormeck a little slow to react, he doesn't speak English. This is a fight originally scheduled for this past October, postponed because of a foot injury to Mormeck. According to Braithwaite, though, Mormeck simply wasn't ready. Big Truck, as Al pointed out, a fast starter, long-ranging, a natural southpaw who switches to righty. Seems a lot more than just a big truck. The low-key Mormeck, physically imposing, chiseled, compact cut, built like a tank. Tendency to do more looking, though, than punching at the outset, but he told us it will be bombs away at the bell tonight. And there is the bell. Fans not in a particularly jovial mood here right now because their hometown hero, Jose Antonio Rivera, was just upset one fight ago by split decision against Luis Calajo of Brooklyn for the WBA welterweight title.
Hopefully these cruiserweights can put a smile on their face. Now, Wayne Braithwaite is a lefty, but you see him fighting as a righty, and now look at him switch. You'll see him go back and forth all night. For the record, oh, look at Mormeck. He switches lefty briefly, so maybe that's something he's got up his sleeve. For the record, Mormeck is 2-1 against lefties.
The general feeling going into this fight, Al, while Mormeck is so very strong and determined, the difference could be that Braithwaite just does more in the ring, like what you were just alluding to, the switching and boxing. Mormeck quite powerful, not particularly fast, has to be close to connect. His money punches, the left hook, and stamina, if this fight goes deep, could be an issue for Mormeck, which is not uncharacteristic for very muscular type fighters like he is.
Braithwaite trying to establish that jab. Look how quickly he switches. He does it just so quickly. Look at him. He is working well from the outside. This is what you almost expected early in this fight. Braithwaite being very effective from the outside.
And he says he goes into a fight not really knowing when he's going to switch or why.
It's amazing. It really is. And he doesn't know how long he'll be a righty or a lefty during a match.
So many similarities between these two. Both have good skills. Both are heavy hitters. Both very strong and both very hittable, as you just saw.
Oh, nice counter right hand by Mormeck. For Mormeck, the trick is just to get through these early rounds. And as you can see, there's a lot to get through. Braithwaite's having an excellent first round.
Braithwaite pounding away to the body. Each with 3 title defenses. They have one common opponent. They both beat tough Canadian Dale Brown the same way. 8th round TKO the same year, 2002. Braithwaite does have good speed. Mentioned his nickname, Big Truck, but don't get so fooled by that. He's got good boxing ability.
Here's against the ropes. That's where he does not want to be against Mormeck, and he understands it, and that's why. Look at Mormeck go to work with that overhand right. Good counterpunch, by Braithwaite.
Yeah, following that long right, Braithwaite pouring it on upstairs. And there's a heavy right hand to the head and into the body. All right hands by Braithwaite. Now the left, but that's blocked. But the right hand is getting through by Braithwaite.
Huge first round by Wayne Braithwaite, and for Mormeck, he just has to get through this assault.
As we head for the bell, and at the bell, it's Mormeck coming on. He landed with the right hand.
As advertised.
Let's check in with Steve Farhood. Steve?
Steve, you mentioned during that first round, Dale Brown fought both of these guys. There's nobody better to analyze this fight. I spoke to Dale Brown earlier this week about Braithwaite. He said he's the crisper puncher, the faster puncher. But Dale Brown doesn't think speed or power has anything to do with this for Braithwaite. He says it's all about discipline. He has to stay away and box. Pretty much the way he fought in that first round. Regarding Mormeck, he said Mormeck is very heavy-handed. If Braithwaite doesn't score a stoppage early, Dale Brown feels that Mormeck will stop Braithwaite late in the fight. So somewhat ambivalent, Dale Brown, picking Braithwaite early, Mormeck late. And Dale Brown will be fighting for the vacant IBF title against O'Neal Bell in a few weeks. So who knows, maybe he gets either Mormeck or Braithwaite again. Back to you, Steve.
Steve, thank you very much. From studying tapes, Braithwaite does seem more offensive when he's from a right-handed stance. Seems to control the fight more when he's southpaw, but not as aggressive. Now he comes out as a southpaw to start the second.
One of the important headlines from round one, I thought, were the counter right hands that Mormeck was able to land toward the end of the round. And even during portions of the middle of the round, even though Braithwaite won the round, that's something Wayne Braithwaite's going to have to figure out how to deal with, because those are heavy punches.
Some southpaws who switch aren't necessarily as effective from the right side, but Braithwaite seems to be able to jab well from either side.
You see Braithwaite moving around, trying not to get caught on the ropes. This is not a huge ring, but it's a decent-sized ring.
I would think as Braithwaite lands to the body and then the countering body shots by Mormeck that Braithwaite serves as an awkward adversary here, and here comes Mormeck.
Not where Braithwaite wants to be. Bad positioning against those ropes.
Let him out. Let him out.
Wow.
An assault by Jean Marck Mormeck.
I got it. Let him out. Listen,
who seems to have salved Braithwaite early. And he continues to come forward. Sometimes reminiscent of Joe Frazier's fighting style, the way he gets down low and comes forward, throwing hard punches and banging inside.
No push, no push.
Well, you said it. Mormeck is a very strong fighter. He physically imposes his will on you. He's done it for 27 straight fights. And his battle cry coming into this match was Wayne Braithwaite hadn't been hit by someone like him.
Braithwaite generally looks to out-punch and out-hustle. Mormeck looks to overpower you, but looks to wear you down in hopes of taking advantage later in the fight. He is an accurate body puncher, as we're seeing, and he's busy. There's a big right hand upstairs by Mormeck. So Mormeck got off to the flimsy start of the first round, but he has really come on.
You know, if you need to wonder whether this fight will go the distance, in the last 33 fights that these two fighters have had, 30 of those they have won by stoppage. So you can see they're punchers.
And you talked about Mormeck's left hook, but he has a very heavy right as well. Because now it's Mormeck backpedaling to the ropes, not where he wants to be. Mormeck's last fight versus a southpaw 2 fights ago, although not in the style of Braithwaite. It was a very tall, lanky Alexander Gurov from the Ukraine. And Mormeck did a nice job in winning that fight. An 8th round TKO. Which took the height advantage right away from Gurov.
Okay.
Much better round for the Frenchman.
Stop running, run. See? Take your time. All right? Once I start jumping up and running away and trying to outside the punches. He ain't trying no punches, keep him right there. Keep running easily. You see the opening, you go fit.
Wayne Braithwaite needs to be in the center of the ring. He acknowledged that yesterday, Tuss, and this is what happens when you get caught against the corner against Mormeck. You know, he's got a good arsenal of punches. There you saw the right, the uppercut, the left hook. Mormeck is not a one-dimensional fighter, even though he's coming forward a lot. He's pretty creative in the way he attacks you. And then later in the round, the right hand's been a very effective weapon for Mormeck, and there is a good short counter right hand. He's quicker than some people might give him credit for, Steve.
And we're set now for round 3, scheduled for 12 for the WBA WBC Cruiserweight Championship. Timeout is called as they're a little late in getting the stool out of Braithwaite's corner. And also there's a lot of moisture there now, so they have to towel that off and do some housekeeping. Get a little help from Dick Flaherty.
Okay.
You know, Jean Marck Mormeck, his last 2 championship fights were not televised in France. This one is being televised there. He had some dispute with promoters, and who knows what the reason is, but he's very excited that the people back in France are getting to see him try and unify this title, and that's extra motivation for him.
And he continues to have success with that long right hand, does Mormeck.
I think Braithwaite is much better off as a righty in this fight, and the reason is what you said. Good shots by Braithwaite. He punches harder as a righty, and if you're going to keep Mormeck off you, you've got to land big punches.
Mormeck 30-2 with 21 knockouts. Braithwaite undefeated, 21-0, 17 KOs.
You know, Braithwaite's body work, surprising. I mean, I didn't expect him to go downstairs as much. The problem is that leaves him vulnerable to some of those counter right hands by Mormeck.
Right, I got it. Don't grab him. Let you grab him.
Minute gone by. In round 3, Braithwaite, born in Georgetown, Guyana, got interested in boxing when he was 17, 60 amateur fights. He's had more amateur experience than Mormeck, a 2-time Golden Gloves champion in Guyana. Guyana, a small country of about 750,000 on the northeast shoulder of South America, which has produced several prominent boxers like Vivian Harris, Andrew Six-Heads Lewis.
Grabbing him behind the head. Don't grab him behind the head.
You know, Braithwaite getting caught against those ropes again, wheeled his way out. Mormeck had good sparring against Guillermo Jones, who fought on the undercard here and lost a very close decision to Steve Cunningham. But Jones, a very good sparring partner because he switches back and forth similar to the manner Braithwaite does. Braithwaite landing some hellacious body shots while getting a warning from Flaherty for a little low.
2 quality fighters, both experienced against good opposition, several impressive wins by each. Both off the long layoff, so that is a washout.
We can see why these are the 2 best cruiserweights. They're good fighters. They really are. Both bring something impressive to the table. Boy, Braithwaite better watch out throwing those body shots. He is leaving himself wide open for a big counter shot.
And that a borderline shot. Countering shots here, and there's a straight right hand by Mormeck that got through the defense.
That's that push it.
Again, he's got him on the ropes, and that's where he lands the right and the left. There's Mormeck going to work.
Great sequence here by Mormeck. Going to the body and the head, and back comes Braithwaite to the body and to the head, and a right hand by Mormeck. Terrific exchange. Excellent ending to this round.
Wow.
Let's go over to Steve Farhood.
Claire Small's the mother of Wayne Braithwaite.
Robbing him big time.
Sounds like boxing. Steve, back to you.
Thanks very much, Steve. She lives vicariously through her son, Wayne. In fact, she told us yesterday that lately her right shoulder has hurt. Round 4. Well, we've seen father and son combinations as far as management and
wives.
fighter.
You've seen wives.
Wives, Johnny Tapia's wife, Wayne McCullough. We've seen brother and brother, but very rare to see mother and son in this kind of a relationship. Very unique.
We're headed into an interesting portion of this fight, I think. You know, early we expected Braithwaite to do well. He did well in round 1. The round 2 was excellent for Mormeck. Braithwaite came back in round 3. When I head into these middle rounds, where some suggest it's going to be Mormeck that starts to take control. But I'll tell you what Wayne Braithwaite's doing that's really effective. He's throwing a lot of body punches. That could slow Mormeck down later on.
There's a nice right uppercut right on the chin by Mormeck.
Let me tell you, these are good fighters. You know, they have labored in anonymity to an extent in this cruiserweight division, but I think people are seeing these guys are very skilled.
Getting the nice exposure here tonight. As Braithwaite pointed out to us, he wants this fight to make him a star. He wants it to be his coming out party. Mormeck, on the other hand, very, very low-key and quiet about it. And he said, wait till the fight starts. I'll do my talking then.
Stop. Again, don't push. You're pushing. Don't
Flaherty doing a good job of warning Braithwaite. You know, the pressure of Mormeck and his constant pressure. You see, you alluded to Joe Frazier. Certainly there's a similarity, even though he doesn't throw all the same punches as Frazier, but it's the same kind of pressure. And that's what the Mormeck people think will wear Braithwaite down. And look, again, he's got him on the ropes.
Yeah, it is somewhat relentless as Mormeck continues to fire away to the body. And he's landing with those uppercuts and not letting up.
And Mormeck himself going to the body, and we heard Claire Small, his mom and manager, allude to this issue of being on the ropes, and they're very aware of it. You know, they know that that's the one thing he absolutely can't do in this fight. And not only his mom, but also his trainer, Colin Morgan, talked at length to us about that in the meetings.
Both give you a high punch volume, which makes for entertaining affairs. You mentioned Colin Morgan, the former national coach in Guyana, where he coached Braithwaite. First met him when Wayne was 17. He's like a father to Wayne. It's a very strong, solid relationship.
Wow, there are some good body punches, Steve, being thrown in this fight by both men. Really good work downstairs. Tough round to score.
It's good, Jean Marc. Breathe.
He's tired.
He's tired. Keep doing what you're doing.
À l'intérieur, ça passe. Quand tu montes à l'intérieur et en bas, il est touché.
It's great on the inside.
Allez,
keep doing it.
Encore. Toujours. Plus possible.
Come on. Again. More and more. Come on, Jean Marc. Same round.
Our thanks to our translator, Roman Muchera, translating the words of Lucien Dauphin, the trainer for Jean Marck Mormeck. But you could hear in plain English Al Banani, who's the cut man, just saying he's tired. But as we mentioned, Mormeck does not speak English.
You know, he has spent a lot of this fight as a lefty, more actually than I thought. Based upon other tapes we had seen of Braithwaite, I thought he might fight a little more as a righty. And I have to say, I think the right-handed stance might benefit him more because he does punch with more power from that stance. Nice right by Mormeck. He is just crowding Braithwaite and keeping constant pressure on him.
You're holding.
Mormeck off the unanimous decision over Virgil Hill to retain the title. May 22nd in South Africa. He had Hill down on the 8th. Hill announcing his retirement after the fight. Mormeck's second win over Virgil. Crowd reacting to Mormeck's power. Braithwaite back in April at Madison Square Garden, the unanimous decision over Louis Azil, although most people were expecting him to knock Azil out.
Watch your elbow in there.
Particularly because he had come off an impressive first-round knockout over Andres Pineda of Panama. Here comes Braithwaite. Big right hand. That was the the big punch in that series.
One of the things you've got to like about Mormeck is, on the inside, Steve, he throws uppercuts, he rips shots to the body, throws little clubbing right hands. Look at him. He's got a variety of punches on the inside. He's not an easy man to deal with in that posture, and Braithwaite where he shouldn't be on those ropes.
He's scoring. He's making Braithwaite's head snap back. And now body punches followed by a straight right to the head and a left hand, and Braithwaite's in some kind of trouble to hold on now.
Break. Break.
And he still can't get away from those ropes. Those punches will not stop Mormeck. What a right-handed body.
6 or 7 hitter-patter punches by Braithwaite and 1 heavy shot by Mormeck. So Mormeck continues to have the upper hand, just crowding Braithwaite, firing away, and several of those punches, those hard punches, are connecting, like that left hand upstairs. And again, Braithwaite just hangs on. He's getting tired now. These punches are really wearing him out.
Well, Dale Brown knew what he was talking about, didn't he?
Break. Okay.
Now this, as we mentioned earlier, is part of Mormeck's strategy. He looks to wear down his opponent, then get to you later.
Break.
It takes the legs out when you keep going to the body like that, and then you go to the head and end it. We'll see if that happens.
Sit down, sit down, sit down.
Hey, put the water on him. Put the water on him.
Yeah, move the bucket.
Put the water on him.
Move the bucket.
Languishing on the ropes, Wayne Braithwaite gets himself in all kinds of trouble, and Mormeck, a very active fighter on the inside, using the uppercut effectively, the hook, the straight right hand. Even though Mormeck doesn't pay too much attention to defense, he's so active that you have to be a very good counterpuncher to nail him. From above, you see the pressure of Mormeck. That same sequence in which we see the variety of punches and we see how strong he is. Now, Mormeck squared up to Braithwaite, so if Braithwaite could counterpunch, he would land something, but when there's this kind of assault against you, very difficult to counter effectively. Later in the round, almost a replay, and these were the right hands that really, really hurt Wayne Braithwaite and had him, for the first time in this fight, Steve, holding on.
Getting rocked time and time again in that round. We enter round 6, scheduled for 12, for the WBA and WBC Cruiserweight Championship. A division that has languished for years, and trying to get some pub here tonight.
I mentioned 181 rounds for Mormeck, only 81 as a pro for Braithwaite. Mormeck's been past 9 rounds 5 times, Braithwaite only twice, so as this fight wears on, you start to feel, as we've alluded to, that Mormeck has an advantage. Wayne Braithwaite better get in the right-handed stance, get in the center of the ring, and throw some bombs. That's the only way he's going to get back into this fight. He's not doing it.
Combination upstairs, several unanswered punches by Mormeck, and again Braithwaite has to cling and hang on. Mormeck all over Braithwaite.
Well, coming into this, we knew these were 2 excellent fighters, and they have shown us that at the top of the cruiserweight division, there are 2 outstanding fighters. They both fought well. It's been Mormeck's strength that's been the difference, and it's been an action fight.
Yet another combination upstairs, and Mormeck landing bombs.
I got it.
Neither fighter has ever been down to the pros. They've been down to the amateurs. Mormeck continues to stalk the Guyanan.
Finally, some movement from Braithwaite. We have not seen much of that, and he is normally has very good foot movement, but he's allowed himself to be lulled into this inside fight against Mormeck.
A heavy body shot by Braithwaite, but few and far between. Now he's just firing away, loading up is Braithwaite.
Break. Let him out.
Big Flaherty warning him for pushing, and pretty soon he may take a point away from Braithwaite for holding. But
the only thing I can think that may be going through Braithwaite's mind right now is try to hang on as best he can until the fight goes deep into the later rounds, and perhaps Mormeck will tire out from all the action that he is putting forth, the activity, the busyness. And there have been questions of fatigue and stamina, particularly in Mormeck's last fight, which went the distance. The only time he's ever gone the distance. But Mormeck has other ideas.
Good left hook by Mormeck. You know, Braithwaite's landed some hellacious body shots, but it hasn't really had a big impact on Mormeck. And Mormeck himself, of course, has dealt out a lot of damage downstairs.
These are big body shots, and then to the head for Braithwaite now. And Mormeck,
big right hook by Braithwaite.
Mormeck getting tagged now. And a big ending to the round by Braithwaite. Well, go ahead, take it, Al.
You know, the cruiserweight division obviously has been a way station to the heavyweights. Amazingly enough, people keep moving up to that division. Only one man has won a heavyweight title from moving up, Evander Holyfield. In fact, he's the only one that's fought for a heavyweight title, though James Toney will soon fight John Ruiz. And that story really tells the story of the cruiserweight division, because it is about stars in other divisions just having a cup of coffee here. That might change, though, after tonight, because both of these fighters say they want to stay and try and make the division into something special. And these are two very good fighters. You know, big question about that last round. Mormeck really won that round. But Braithwaite won the last 25 seconds, and sometimes judges only pay attention to the last 25 seconds.
And Braithwaite trying to take the spirit away from Mormeck towards the end of that round. Let's see if it carries over into round 7. Good body shots by Braithwaite. Firing bullets to the midsection.
Braithwaite is getting much more on his punches now, but he's so dangerous throwing only body shots. He can get countered to the head. But those are as good body shots as he'll throw.
And he's coming from a long, long way to throw those punches.
And as a righty, see, he needs to stay in the right-handed stance because he throws with much more power there.
I don't know if you noticed, Mormeck invited him in. He said, come on.
Hey, this is a good fight, I'll tell you what.
As if to say, it's having no impact on me.
Grabbing.
Mormeck just walking straight in. Now, he's lost the first part of this round. And you take a look at the scoring.
At the halfway point, Ron Borges from the Boston Globe, Bill Lupert from FightNews.com, Tim Smith for the New York Daily News. They all have it the same way for Mormeck.
And that's exactly the way I am, 58-56. And here comes Mormeck back after losing the first part of this round.
Mormeck, down goes Braithwaite off that huge right hand upstairs. Braithwaite down for the first time in his pro career.
Hey, how do you feel? You all right? Okay, put your gloves up.
So a startling experience for Wayne Braithwaite. You never know how that's going to affect the fighter going down for the first time. And Mormeck trying to end it here in round 7.
I got it.
Long way to go. Over a minute. This is trouble for Wayne Braithwaite.
With a minute to go of the 7th round, Braithwaite just looking to hang on. He takes a glance over here. Sorry, Wayne, we can't help you.
Break. Come out. What you're holding, Wayne, you're holding.
So Wayne Braithwaite tasting the canvas for the first time in 22 professional fights. He is undefeated.
And no movement. Braithwaite cannot get away. Mormeck's been pretty passive, letting him hold on the inside and not making the most of this opportunity right now.
And apparently those body shots thunderous body shots by Braithwaite, not a factor. Mormeck again with a relentless attack. Big combination upstairs again. Dick Flaherty has to be looking very closely because Braithwaite is not answering back. He's trying to hang on and make it through this round. He is moving around, though. There's the bell. Awful round for Braithwaite. Round 8, Braithwaite really up against it now. Mormeck stalking.
Braithwaite cannot use lateral movement effectively. This ring is not a giant ring, but it's not that small. There's some room to work with.
Those body punches are on the outside, hitting the arms by Braithwaite. And right above us, Mormeck swarms.
Wayne, you're holding one more time and taking a point.
Well, you heard Dick Flaherty say one more time to Braithwaite, as if things aren't bad enough. He's going to take a point. 2 straight long right hands that landed by Mormeck.
Wayne Braithwaite was sure he could box. He was sure he could fight this fight at long range. Tactically, this fight has been a disaster for Braithwaite. He has spent much more of it on the inside, much more of it on the ropes than he ever imagined when they drew up the plan for this fight.
Unquestionably, the Frenchman Mormeck superior from a tactical standpoint. Much to the surprise of a lot of boxing aficionados, observers.
Come on, Wayne, what's your holding?
Media members. I think many thought that Braithwaite had the edge because he did more things in the ring, but Mormeck has dominated.
And it's been primarily because Braithwaite has allowed Mormeck to use his strength. He's not been in the center of the ring at long range against Mormeck. Hasn't been able to keep him there.
Over here. 1 point for holding. 1 point for holding. 1 point for holding.
As promised, Dick Flaherty
1 point. Let's go.
Taking a point away from Wayne Braithwaite, so he is really in a hole. And back comes Mormeck with a right hand right after the point deduction, giving Braithwaite no room to breathe. A suffocating offense by the Frenchman. Overhand right by Mormeck that connects. Right on the temple again. But this time Braithwaite stays up. The last time he went down.
You know, Braithwaite now has the right strategy. He's countering as a right-hander off the ropes. He never, look at good right hand. He should never go back to lefty again in this fight. Stay righty and throw bombs like this. You have a chance to stay in the fight.
Look at this rally by Wayne Braithwaite. What a comeback.
Now, is Mormeck playing possum or is he really hurt?
Now there's blood over the left eye of Braithwaite. Mormeck landing with a right hand there, and it stops Braithwaite in his tracks. What a flurry by Braithwaite, but then it came to a halt.
Give Wayne Braithwaite credit. That was extraordinary, the way he came back.
And then Mormeck pops him one with a right on the head at the bell. Interesting round.
Water. Take. All right. You got it, partner. I got it. Come in, Doc. Come in. Doc, come in. Go for it.
Let's get it from here. I can't reach.
It's nothing. Work on it. It's nothing. Work on it, guys. Work on it.
Don't worry about the fight. Listen, fight your sports. Right? Fight.
Here's where Mormeck in the last round with Braithwaite against the ropes as a lefty, right after there had been a point deducted for holding from Braithwaite, which ended up making this a 10-8 round. Mormeck was able to get him against the ropes. But off the ropes, in the center of the ring, as a right-hander, look what Braithwaite can accomplish. This was the way he envisioned fighting this fight. This was how he planned it in his head. But so little of the fight has gone that way.
Braithwaite trying to rub off the blood from a cut around the left eye, over the left eye.
Stop. Go over there. Come on with that tape.
There's some tape hanging from the glove of Braithwaite, so
come on, take care of the tape.
Dick Flaherty stops the action momentarily.
Tape. Right here.
Al, I'm not sure if that cut came from a clash of heads or a punch.
We don't have a ruling on it. We're going to try and find out.
There's no way to know, so we'll just wait.
Tie up, bang him up.
Okay, that's good.
Big shot, slide down, bang him up, slide down.
Okay. Over here.
So we get a few extra seconds here in round 9. Scheduled for 12 for the WBA WBC Unification Cruiserweight title.
You know, I think Wayne Braithwaite is making a monstrous mistake by staying as a left-hander. I think it is the absolute worst thing he can do. He can't punch with enough power as a lefty.
Oh, Mormeck gets Braithwaite in trouble. Braithwaite looking to weather that siege.
Let him out.
Braithwaite showing resolve there.
See, look at him as a righty. Even though he's getting whacked there, he can punch with power, and at least can keep Mormeck off him.
Those are massive shots by Mormeck, showing what kind of chin and heart Braithwaite has.
There has been a lot of punishment dealt out here in this fight, really by both men, but of course more by Mormeck. Wow, those are big body shots.
Right, I got it.
At 32 years of age, Mormeck hasn't lost in 27 fights, doesn't know what it is to lose. He was 3-2 in his pro career
again, Wayne.
and has not lost since. And, you know, he's just a guy that doesn't want to lose and doesn't know how to lose.
30-2, 21 knockouts, and the 2 losses very early in his career. 10-year pro. Braithwaite again going to the body, but Mormeck has the answer with the right.
Right, let him out. Nice and easy.
Less than a minute remaining in round 9. Braithwaite weighs down in the 7th, first time in his career. And then had a point deducted for holding in the 8th.
Right, let him out. Come on, Wayne. That's it.
Mormeck has not thrown quite as many punches on the inside. So very subtle, but he is punching a little bit less now. Is that a sign that he's a little fatigued?
Perhaps that, as we mentioned earlier, Al, is what Big Truck was hoping for here. As the pace has slowed considerably. So,
and why not? Man, I mean, it's been torrid.
It has been intense.
Right, let him out. Okay.
Right now, Mormeck has had Big Truck in neutral and reverse.
Settle down.
Protect the cup, Wayne.
Wayne.
It's not bleeding too bad, but just protect it.
Wayne.
Yeah, let the doctor forward.
Why you don't listen?
All right, keep working on it, guys. Keep working on it.
I tell you, Wayne, the guy gets...
Mormeck got Braithwaite in a little more trouble in that last round, pushing against the ropes. And once he gets on the inside, the uppercut has been a very effective weapon for him. But you see the variety of punches. That's what's so impressive about Mormeck. He throws combinations, and again, as we look at it from up top, there'll be a left hook involved here, an uppercut involved, an overhand right. I mean, look at him. Those are just excellent combinations. Even though, look how squared up Mormeck is to Braithwaite, you would think he could land counterpunches, but Steve, you can't land counterpunches when you're getting blasted with all those big shots.
Usually when you are squared up, you're off balance. But in this case, he was just showering, raining bombs on Braithwaite. Braithwaite just couldn't offer anything back.
Now, an important development, we found out that the cut was opened by a clash of heads. That means if that cut would stop the fight, they would go to the scorecards. Steve Farhood ferreted out that information for us, and so if this fight were stopped now, they would go to the scorecards, and more than likely, we think Mormeck would win this fight. Speculation.
It is scheduled for 12 to unify the Cruiserweight Championship.
Mormeck a little more passive here.
Nice right hand snuck in. A deceptive right by Mormeck.
Now here's the distance that Braithwaite wants. But part of his issue now is he's way behind in this fight. If he keeps fighting as a lefty, I do not believe he has the power in his punches in that stance to hurt or knock out Mormeck, and I think he probably needs that. Though we can see Mormeck is much more passive now than he's been in the earlier rounds.
On the retreat more. He has been so much more aggressive coming forward most of the time up until now. Midway 10th. Mormeck more measured now, taking his time, picking his spots, not as smothering. And Braithwaite not taking advantage of the situation. He's laying back too.
Might be winning this round, probably is, but is that enough? Well, they both came in here off 12-round efforts, which they won, so we know they can get to 12 rounds.
And for each their only distance fight.
This is a good round for Braithwaite. A nice right hand by Mormeck. A good round for Braithwaite in terms of him probably winning it, but not good because he needs to do a lot more. Remember, not only a knockdown, but also a point being deducted for holding, so that's 2 extra points that he lost in this match. Now he's in right-handed stance, and that's where he really should be.
And missing is Braithwaite. He's more offensive and aggressive and powerful from the right-handed stance, but Mormeck is not allowing him to be.
He's winning this round, Braithwaite, but the problem is he would at least need a knockdown or 2 or a knockout to win the fight.
Off balance. Although that was a nice shot to the head by Mormeck, Braithwaite nearly went down, although he wasn't hurt.
Tira più golpe, campione.
Breathe, breathe.
Please don't lean on that, please.
What's the matter? You okay?
Respire.
That was great what you did.
Okay.
Braithwaite on the outside getting clubbed with the right hand by Mormeck. And there he is off balance, not hurt badly, but Mormeck has used that right hand effectively. And we see it again from another angle and bouncing off the top of the head of Braithwaite. And maybe that did stun him momentarily.
As we get ready for round 11, the championship rounds. Interesting how we said at the outset that Braithwaite seemed the more relaxed and loose, and seemed the more relaxed and loose and confident of the two. Mormeck seemed much more tight and intense and focused and serious. So hard to read into those things before a fight.
Well, and you know, the interesting thing now is here we are in the 11th round, and it is Mormeck moving backwards, trying to buy time. Is he tired? He certainly hasn't thrown many punches. And Wayne Braithwaite now may have his golden opportunity to make something happen. Can he?
Well, he is clearly running out of time. And here's the press row scoring. And they all have Mormeck ahead. The biggest disparity is Bill Lupert, 98-90.
I've got it as Tim Smith does, 97-92.
Bill out of FightNews.com, Ron from the Boston Globe, Tim, the New York Daily News.
And a big issue for Braithwaite, the big issues are the knockdown plus the penalty. Took 2 extra points away from him, and of course Mormeck has controlled many of these rounds. Braithwaite is probably going to be winning these last couple rounds because so little is being done by Mormeck, though Braithwaite himself is not exactly active.
And a nice jab by Mormeck. He has scored mostly with the right hand tonight, now seeing his boxing ability.
This is odd. Very seldom do you have a fight that is a barn burner for that long and then have 2 rounds in which it just comes to a standstill completely.
I think by design, according to Mormeck. He is in complete command, seemingly doing what he wants. Moving a lot more now. That was not flush by Braithwaite. Now Mormeck coming back with the jab, holding off on the right.
Extraordinarily rare that you have 2 fighters with female managers. You know, of course, Braithwaite, his mom, Claire Smalls, and then Natalie Cristal, who is a manager slash advisor to Jean Marck Mormeck.
Mormeck is starting his own management company so he can actually manage himself. But yeah, Natalie is along as the advisor.
He also has a sportswear company that he's involved in, and he hopes that great efforts like this will help him market it. It will back in France where they're seeing this fight, and unless something dramatic changes, they're seeing Mormeck possibly unify 2 belts.
Yeah, he's thrilled that he's finally getting the television exposure back in his native country. There's that jab again. At will, Al. There it is again.
The bad news for Braithwaite is he's outboxing him now, and that is not something Mormeck is supposed to be able to do from long range. He might have won this round.
Mormeck really showing his versatility. Very impressive.
Rain, this is the last round. You're losing this fight. You're way behind. Where the bucket? Where the bucket? Where the bucket? Where's the bucket?
All right, this is it.
Rain, if you don't take this guy out, the bell going back to France. Hey, look at bucket Rain.
Coach, you're going to give me a fight over here, buddy.
Rain, if you don't knock this guy out, you're going back without the bell. You know, you understand what I'm saying? You go in there, you ain't throwing no punches. You got to lay out this round.
The last round with touch gloves in the center.
Rain, we can do this round.
Stop doing monkey.
Hey, we can do this round. We knock this guy out. We're going to knock.
He's yours. You can have him. You can't take away what you got. This is the last one.
You can probably hear as we enter the 12th and final round, they'll touch gloves. Colin Morgan in the corner of Wayne Braithwaite saying, you lose this fight, you got to knock him out. We'll see what happens here in the 12th round. And they're loving what's going on in the Mormeck corner, understandably so. He is in control.
The jab of Mormeck has been a little bit of a revelation in the last couple of rounds. Much more effective from long range than we would have anticipated, because he's a fighter that doesn't really jab his way in when he's pressuring you, Steve. You know, he bulls his way in, then he throws shots on the inside. So we don't see that jab much.
And Mormeck taking really the wise approach, just staying away, because he knows he's so far ahead right now. He should be far ahead, that he really doesn't have to engage with Braithwaite.
Well, you know, Jean Marck Mormeck does not have a nickname, and he wants one, and he actually wants fans to vote on his nickname at www.mormeck.com. So I'll tell you what, based upon this performance, there are some interesting ones that people might email to him.
Braithwaite pounding away, but those are the shoulder, and Mormeck says, come on back.
Pull that back.
Try it again. Now he's just taunting Braithwaite. Overhand right, and Braithwaite just hangs on.
Okay,
again, he is rocked, Wayne Braithwaite.
Mormeck is putting an exclamation point on what has been a very, very good performance by him against an excellent fighter.
So Wayne Braithwaite having his problems here against the Frenchman all night long. Jean Marck Mormeck having his way. I don't know what Braithwaite is doing. Totally uncalled for, particularly under these circumstances. You can't be clowning around now. If anybody can be clowning, it's Mormeck, and he's not. He's landing.
It's like spiking a football after you've scored and your team's down about 63 to 7.
Right.
Unfortunately, he is way behind. And unless he can make something very dramatic happen here in 45 seconds, Braithwaite's not going to have his title.
Mormeck landing with that long right. Mormeck showing his punching ability, his power, his strength, and his boxing ability here tonight. And his defense.
Jean Marck Mormeck can make some phenomenal fights in this division. There's people like Kelvin Davis, who is a stocky fire plug. We saw him against Ezra Sellers. There's O'Neal Bell, who's a big power puncher. There could be some wars between Jean Marck Mormeck and a couple of those other cruiserweights if he stays in this division as he says he will.
Johnny Nelson, the WBO champ from England.
Also an excellent
so we head for the bell, and it looks like Jean Marck Mormeck of France has this one in his pocket. And he gets a nice round of applause from the crowd here in Worcester, and a big, big embrace from trainer Lucien Dauphin. The cut was not a factor. It was around the eye, not getting into the eye, and you see the look on the face of mother/manager Claire Spalls of Wayne Braithwaite. Not very happy right now. Wayne Braithwaite in danger of losing his first fight in his career. Coming in 21-0 with 17 knockouts, and in danger of losing his WBC cruiserweight belt. And Jean Marck Mormeck looking to add Braithwaite's belt to his WBA arsenal. So all that's left is the announcement from Jimmy Lennon Jr. And there is Natalie Cristal, who you were talking about before, the advisor, who is elated for Jean Marck. 32-year-old, 10-year pro.
For Wayne Braithwaite, obviously tremendous disappointment, and you know this sets him back because this is not a division where you easily get yourself back to a situation to make yourself marketable. That's the whole point. You know, the loser of this stood to lose more than we might in some other division see a fighter lose, and that duo, of course, there's lots to talk about.
And in convincing fashion, Al, the fight goes deep. Mormeck in command and control. No questioning Mormeck's stamina, that's for sure. No questioning ring rust after being out 11 months. Looking to extend his record to 31-2. And his winning streak to 28 fights in a row. You're right, it's been so long, he doesn't remember what it's like to lose.
Yeah, since 1998, he hasn't lost a fight. They appreciate the effort.
The respect is there. It certainly wasn't there before the fight. A lot of trash talking by Braithwaite, none by Mormeck. But now they can finally be relieved, and they get a nice round of applause once again from the appreciative crowd.
Taking a long time to get these
which makes you wonder sometimes.
Scorecards. We go back to the middle rounds. Round 7 and round 8 were important points in this fight. This is where Braithwaite would go down from a right hand, and of course this created a 10-8 round. Mormeck working on the inside, blasting to the body and the head, and would kind of step to his right and then throw a terrific right hand that would send Braithwaite down. It was a round that he probably had won already, but then certainly made it a 10-8 round. Very significant because, of course, it's a 2-point round for Mormeck. And we look at it again to see the power on the inside of Mormeck. This fight microcosm because so much of it was fought this way, with Braithwaite against the ropes where he didn't want to be, and where Mormeck could do things like this, and that right hand was just a very important weapon for Mormeck.
A foreign moment for Braithwaite, going down for the first time in his career.
Then in round 8, another moment that would be important. The cut over the eye, which was ruled a clash of heads, but may have come from this punch. And then the heads kind of scraped together there.
That is the area where Braithwaite was injured, so that might have been it, Al.
And then to add to his woes, Dick Flaherty, who I thought did a very good job of warning Braithwaite, had warned him about holding, and then this was the last straw for Flaherty, and he called a point deduction for Wayne Braithwaite. So between the knockdown, the cut, and then this point deduction, it was a very difficult period in this fight for Braithwaite, and probably the point that really turned this fight around. And a 4-point swing during those 2 rounds for Wayne Braithwaite, and he understood the gravity of the situation right there.
Very disconsolate Wayne Braithwaite right there. Let's get it up to Jimmy Lennon Jr. for the official word.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 12 rounds of boxing, we have a unanimous decision. Here are the score totals. Judge at ringside, Glenn Feldman, scores about 114 to 112. Judge Chuck Hassett sees it 115 to 111. Peter Trevatera scores about 116 to 110. All three in favor of the winner. He is now the unified WBC and WBA cruiserweight champion of the world, Jean Marck Mormeck.
So what seemed like a more lopsided victory, at least from my viewpoint, I think from your viewpoint as well. One judge had it by 2 points. That's a little bit of a surprise there.
That means without those two, the knockdown and the holding, that would have been a draw on that scorecard. That is surprising. I had it 117, 110 at the end of the day.
So Jean Marck Mormeck, in decisive fashion, ends Wayne Braithwaite's reign as WBC champion and his unbeaten string. Let's get some post-fight words. Steve Farhood in the ring. Steve?
All right, Steve. Now